Hey there. When we think of endorsement, we tend to think of someone who's made a conscious decision to put their name or their seal of approval on something that they would like to see others pay attention to or take part in, or generally just want to see more of in the world. The truth, however, is that everything you undertake, you endorse. You are a living testimony to the value system that you express in the world. We are not separate, but we are one with all things. So everything that we think, everything we say, everything we do has ripples. When you do something, it's more likely that you will repeat it. When you're seen to do something, it's possible that it will be imitated, and that in turn passes on. If you say something, you're more likely to hear it again and again and again. This is a message you put out into the world. When you buy something, it's an investment. You're saying more of this, and others will dedicate themselves where there is profit and where there is interest. Everything you research and pay attention to becomes more interesting and more looked at. From the searches on the internet, which readjust the algorithms to the videos you watch, like, and share. Indeed, even subtle things have an effect. What you wear, the posture you have, the attitude you take towards things, these are all seeds that you're planting, which will grow in subtle ways that may not be obvious. You probably notice that your thoughts themselves somehow have a link to what seems to occur in your life, guiding things to you. So being aware of the value of each moment, how it stands forever once we have put it in place, is something we can use to make sure that we're being skillful, make sure that we are empowered by this understanding and have the best possible effect for ourselves and for everything. To do this, there are 3 principles I would recommend that you apply. The first being that attention amplifies whatever it rests upon. So, understanding this will allow you to give your energy only to the places that deserve it. Have you ever noticed that the view you take of something can really change how it's done? Someone who is tidying and cleaning their house because they love to create an environment which is balanced and harmonious and beautiful, does it in a very different way than someone who's doing it because they hate mess and don't like the dirt and are really frustrated. The first one makes it easier to repeat, improves your focus, improves your performance at doing that. The second one means that maybe you're going to tire more quickly and that others are most certainly not going to look at this as something they want to do too. So focusing on the positive is very powerful. Always keep your mind on the goal and use this as a guiding light to overcome any barriers, to transform anything which needs to be transformed, regenerated or repaired to make that happen. Be cautious about having your attention drawn into things you don't want to see more of. Sometimes this can happen in peculiar ways. We can find ourselves worrying, and rather than putting our mind on the opposite, we really think we can solve it. Sometimes we can be doing something and awareness of a possible problem actually makes it happen. We can be so concerned when we're riding our bike that we might fall that we do. Perhaps you've seen how people who focus on the opposite often do something which is intended to bring around their intended result, but actually is counterproductive. The person who isn't being listened to, rather than to think about their audience and to tune in to the right things to discuss, who speaks loudly and shouts, drives people away. The person who is concerned they are not respected, who boasts unrealistically, doesn't even get recognized for their genuine achievements. Just think how many videos, how many stories, how many negative things are being spread online by people who dislike them. They're horrified to see that someone's done this, that someone's put that video up, and they look at it and full of anger, they share it saying, I don't believe someone's done this. I don't believe someone's put it up. Giving a direct financial reward and social reward for putting up that video, for doing the things and videoing them. Be sure to put your attention towards what you want to see grow on all levels. This is the right message for yourself, for your environment, and for the whole of existence. The second principle, which is very important to apply, is to remember this. Everything's real. Often people have areas where they're deliberately looking away, where they've got a cognitive detachment from something. Things that don't really mean anything, or they're only doing because of the environment or because of someone else, that kind of thing. These things are true and should be counted as such. Just think of the kind of things that you might do that you don't want others to know about. This shows that your standards are different in your expression than in reality. You need to bring them in line. If you're not willing to endorse them with your words, don't endorse them with your actions. Doing something makes it happen more. It brings a reward on many different levels that ripples throughout existence. You might know people who actually say it doesn't matter, or actually say it meant nothing. Or maybe you've observed how people, if they put something at a distance, they allow themselves to approve of that. Something they wouldn't do themselves, they're willing to hire someone to do or vote for someone to do. Something which comes to them having already gone through a certain process that isn't them doing it anymore. Remember, if you buy the fish, you killed the fish. If you drive the car, you burn the petrol. It's all real. Make sure things are honest and in alignment. Look at where your words and your actions differ in the sense of what you recommend to others strongly. Market research companies have found that there's a difference between expressed preference, what the person will say, and what they really do. Most people with a microphone in front of them or with a form to fill in will say they really think that animal welfare is very important in meat production and you should always buy organic. But if you were to compare what they say to others to their receipts, you'll see things don't match. Make sure you are living your genuine standards. It's all real. And finally, the third principle, which is a great empowerment, is to make sure everything is simple and consistent. So be aware that complicated rules or patterns are hard to establish and to stick to. Complicated messages are not easy for people to understand. It may well be that we have these very advanced minds that can take on different concepts and muse through them. But in reality, simplicity is the way to go if you want to master yourself and your environment. If you don't believe that alcohol is something good for you to drink, don't make exceptions. If you make exceptions, then you have established something which will have repercussions you don't need. So just imagine how if you were seeking to bond with someone, a friend, and you decided that this individual circumstance would be one which you should give in to, you have enlivened those feelings, positive feelings towards the alcohol in you, and you have sent a message to that person. If they want to connect with you, please encourage us again. You've turned someone who could have been an ally into someone who is now pushing the opposite agenda. They will want to aid you to bond with them. They will be an obstacle in your positive goal of purity and of abstinence from drink. And this applies on all levels. If you allow yourself to be bashed out of shape in a circumstance, or you allow yourself to put together too complicated a routine, there will be misunderstanding. There'll be a lot of energy kept involved in this matter, which you could free up for your progress. If you do contemplate this, if you look in your life and cut everything to its bare essentials and make sure that everything is simple and direct and only take part in those things that you fully recommend, you will see many blessings come into life. You will find that these principles combined are a great, noble boon in your life. Attracting the things that you want to see more of, the events that are needed for you to be able to find your true path, the allies that you should have had around you all the time. When the resonance has the right rhythm, or where the tune is being played correctly, then you will find your excellence through harmony. It becomes universal. My name's Martin Folks, and I hope that this video is of great benefit to anyone who, with an understanding of the interconnectedness of things, wishes to ensure that every word, thought, and action counts.